Just so y'all know, I'm washing clothes at my cousin's house. So at some point when my washer stops, I am gonna cut my camera off to go put them in the dryer. But
you have never done that before.
I've never been living at church.
In all your years, I don't know if you've ever cut off your camera.
I've always had a washing machine nearby.
Hearing about that again on the podcast for last week had me dying. When you was like, "Yeah, I'm at my father's house," and I was like, "Are you living at the church?" And then Janessa and Kellie are like, "Wait, what?" Like, are you at the church?
I thought the man had died and gone to heaven.
Like, did you die? I'm confused.
Did you die and come back and you had a message for us? Like,
right. What are you supposed to tell us?
Rudy used to eat his shirt. That's why he's like this.
You said Rudy what?
Rudy used to eat his shirt. That's why he's like this.
Rhesa is so on. First of all, I didn't eat my shirt. Don't say it like that. I used to chew on the front of his shirt. I used to chew on the front of it.
The dye is his brain.
Rhesa is just, she would not let that go.
Big sister.
Like she wasn't eating washing detergent right along with me.
Oh man.
Well, you ate your shirt. I didn't eat shirt.
Oh man.
See, that's why Justin can't come back, nor DJ.
Start revealing secrets.
Right.
You don't tell the big ones, you just tell the small ones that don't matter. Exactly.
All right.
You're a little low. Let me turn y'all up a little bit.
All right, everybody ready?
Yep, I'm done eating.
Rhesa, you gonna pour it again?
Boom, shakalaka.
No, I'm gonna do it.
Oh.
Oh. I figured this might be her last time here, so I didn't know. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, Rhesa can do it then. Rhesa can do
It's okay. And my name is Double, the Hollywood producer. Can you change that during the
You change that. I don't change your name.
How do I
You gotta
Well then Rhesa gotta come back.
Here, I got you.
Boom shakalaka.
I got you. Hold on, wait, Janessa. I'm sorry.
Take back. There we go.
Thank you.
Okay. Third time.
Rhesa
Boom shakalaka.
Boom shakalaka.
Oh, then the new one.
Boom shakalaka.
Top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Worst Ones Podcast. This is the podcast where us preacher's kids get to come and be the absolute worst. My name is Rudy Wilson. I am a preacher's kid. We got my sister in the building once again, the Hollywood producer, Rhesa G in the building. She's a PK. Kellie Leezy is in the building. She is a PK. And Jeriana is in the building. She is a PK as well. Kellie, do you want to reveal what your new last name going to be? I ain't going to better say Kellie Leezy no more. What?
Kellie Lee. Nah.
I'm over here like that.
You hyphenating it?
Yeah, I will hyphenate it. It'd be Kellie Lee Aka.
Oh, okay, so I can
a.k.a.
Okay. Mrs. a.k.a.
Right.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
All right.
That means her children cannot pledge anything else.
Right. I'm like, how appropriate.
Well, Kellie, how are the wedding plans and all that type of stuff going?
You know, there's some good days and some not so good days. The good thing is my fiance is pretty much like, whatever you want, I'm good as long as the guys don't wear pink. That was like his only thing, like, as long as the guys don't wear pink. We're trying to figure out, I guess the biggest thing, his family is Nigerian, and so trying to figure out 2 ceremonies or one in this traditional ceremony / white American ceremony pieces. So that's been a bit stressful. If I'm honest, trying to figure that piece out. Because some people want one thing and some people want another thing, and I'm really getting that another layer of a taste of it's not just me anymore. Kellie used to be able to make decisions unilaterally. I can't say it, unilaterally. There we go.
There you go.
By myself without regard to anybody else's feelings. And I have passed that stage in life. So that has been an exciting challenge to figure out how we work through this. And then, like I said, and it's not even necessarily him because he's been great. Except he can't give me his guest list. I've been waiting on that for a week. But other than that, because I'm like, listen, because if you a little low, I got a couple extra people on my tier list that can move to the tier 1 list. I just need to know where you stand.
Right.
So I'm patiently but anxiously waiting for his guest list, hoping that he a little short of the 60 that we have a piece, so that I can borrow some of his online because I got a couple of more people. But otherwise, it's been good. Money is a big thing. Don't plan a wedding without money. It's impossible. Definitely see why couples wait 12 to 18 months to plan a wedding and save up. So, yeah, but it's been good. Overall, I'm excited. We're still confident we're going to pull this off by December. There you go. And I'm going to go into the new year married woman. So,
there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, yo.
Yes.
That's what's up. All right. And everything else, when y'all start school back soon?
Started work Monday. Kids come back next Monday. I have not done a lick of work in the 3 days that I've been at work. I have probably done more wedding planning and Pinterest boards and texting folks and updates and talking to caterers and stepping out of meetings to handle very important things than I have done work for the last 3 days.
Gotcha.
But that report thing that I was talking about that y'all were helping me count down last year, well, not last year, last school year, but last couple of months, it starts all over now, so I don't, so I finished last year's, but now it starts all over. And so I don't want another countdown. Like, I want to just be able to just do it, but I'm not starting off too well. So we'll see what the Lord has in store.
Gotcha.
Yeah, crazy.
Gotcha. All right. Jeriana, what's happening?
I'm doing all right. I'm tired today, but I'm just trying to get back into the swing of things. School started for me on Monday, and I did not read the syllabus until today. And I have a lot of assignments due tomorrow.
Oh, shoot.
Yes. So it's a little bit more than what I was anticipating. I'm going to need all the prayer warriors. Kellie, add me to the church prayer list.
Gotcha.
Trying to hold on to this honor roll title. So that's going to be interesting. But I also have come to the realization that I am no longer a spring young chicken. On Sunday, I went to the Missy Elliott concert with Timberland, Sierra, and Busta Rhymes. And it was really great. Everybody did a phenomenal job. However, at the 10 o'clock hour, when I say I was ready to go to bed, y'all. Ready.
What time did the concert start?
7. Timberland came on at 7 p.m. sharp. Okay. Yes. But by 10 o'clock, I was ready to go, and Missy still wasn't on the stage. And then she did an hour and 15-minute set on top of that when she did get on there. Now, her songs gave me energy. And her Monica was there. She did So Gone.
Saw that.
They also gave Sierra like a day, the governor or whoever gave her, city councilman gave her Sierra Day. But the last song Missy did what to close out the show was Lose Control with Sierra. And you know, I'm over here trying to
everybody
back off the, and I threw my back out. So,
I
put your back on the wall. Put your back on the wall.
Right. I thought we were just tired. I didn't know we were throwing backs out too. You're not that old.
It was that one, and it was the goodies, the bum 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 bum.
Oh yeah, that's a jam.
And then I tried to hit the Matrix. I definitely had a doctor's appointment on Monday afternoon.
Oh my God. Please tell me that was already on the book, that you did not have to schedule an emergency doctor's appointment.
Girl, when I tell y'all, my back, knees, and right ankle is cutting up right now.
Lord.
My back, knees,
you was
and right
going a little too hard.
I had a time, but you know,
clearly.
I'm gonna be unavailable for probably the next 3 weeks trying to cover. See the show if it comes to your city, and you're not 2000 Sierras, you got pop lock and drop it knees. You don't have
Listen, right, that was 20 years ago. How long ago was that?
You can't do the Matrix, okay?
We could back then.
Yeah, that's how I did.
Gotcha. All right. We're glad you had a good time until after. Reese, what's happening? Welcome back.
Just to let your viewers know, if you guys see me keep looking down, looking at a baby, so I'm not just like randomly looking down at something. We're here once again, another week. Glad to be invited back to talk about a special topic. That's all I got. I see you guys' intro got a little long, so I'm trying to shorten it back up.
Y'all on camera.
She's trying to be the producer for real.
I said they back to 30-minute intros. Like they got
we only had 13 minutes, and Rudy started it early. We doing well.
Y'all be in her venting and stuff. Like they can do this off camera.
She's producing on camera.
It's therapeutic.
Go ahead and shorten it back up. I'm doing well.
Gotcha. Well, I'm doing well as well. So we keep it pushing. I don't have anything new. I mean, y'all already know what. My new home. The purpose of it is daily being revealed more and more. So that's I'm thankful for that. It doesn't feel like it's in vain, and I'm just homeless or anything like that. And so like I said before we started recording, there will be a time once my clothes get done, wash them, put them in the dryer. So if you see my camera go off, you already know where I'm at. Okay, but I got an earpiece in so I can hear. I'll still be in the conversation. I just don't want to leave y'all with a white wall just sitting there. Crazy. All right, so
you gonna leave us with a black one? Like I don't understand.
I don't know. I don't know what's the better option. Okay, I'm just
the white one,
probably. But so in lieu of our guest and podcast producer Rhesa recently being married, that was back in February of this year, and then Kellie Leasy.
Dr. Lee
will be jumping the broom at the end of this year in December. We came up with a topic that's kind of catered to that. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe what it is basically like us as Christian folk. I'm as preachers kids at that.
They add a whole nother layer to it.
Right, for sure. It is not only customary, but most likely probably expected that we get married at a church. But some of us PKs, decide to do otherwise and go ahead and do the courthouse, which could kind of be frowned upon. So our topic for today will be church bells versus courthouse bells. Church bells versus courthouse bells.
Dang,
I love it.
You thought that was the Hogwarts or something, which I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't have minded. Okay.
Well, my answer doesn't fall in either one, so
hilarious.
Always.
That is funny.
So I will let you guys take it away, either Rhesa or Kellie, or whoever wants to start. I guess, like, just thoughts or just, the approach to it. Well,
let's start with Janessa.
Okay.
Well, I'm the hoping to be married one day perspective / I'll throw some of Jessica's in too. But growing up, I wanted a Disney large wedding, immaculate dress, like 17-tier cake, 500 people. Like I wanted carriages, literally carriages, and just all of those things. And I would even practice my wedding. I know this is a little embarrassing, but practice walking down the steps. I don't know if y'all remember the baby towels with the little head thing. It's like you can put your head in it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then it's the rest of the towel. That would be my
veil.
My veil thing. And then I would take, because we're old school, in the dining room table, it would have like a lace tablecloth. And my mom would have some extra ones, and I would wrap it around like a halter dress with the train. And I would walk all down the steps, do the dining room. Like it was this long walkway, because in my mind it was going to be this long walkway. I was going to have like 15 bridesmaids, because I needed all my cousins and then all my friends. And of course, this is before I understood what weddings really were about, how much they cost, all that stuff. But I just had this immaculate vision for at least my wedding. And it wasn't necessarily at a church, and it's not necessarily at a church today either. I always wanted an outdoor wedding. Rhesa, you may have seen this, or anybody. Did anybody watch Twilight, the Twilight movies?
Of course.
What's her name? Bella?
Yes.
Yeah, their wedding. Give you that type of, like, the draping white petal flower thingies, and just like the moss and the trees and all of that. I have Pinterest boards saved of outdoor weddings. At one point, once I came to my senses, my latest revelation was I wanted to get married in my grandmother's backyard. But unfortunately, in Kirkwood, but unfortunately we sold the house. So that's not an option, but I just loved her backyard. It was big, it had a lot of space, had the trees, it had all the things that I wanted. But now that I've gotten older and I, was in the planning process with my sister when she got married, and I kind of saw some of the things that she had to go through. One, as Kellie mentioned, the price. Weddings are expensive. You're essentially paying for people to come celebrate you. And oftentimes, I could say at least with like my sister's wedding, there are plenty of people I don't think Jessica nor Lonell have talked to probably since their wedding, not because they don't have, it's like an issue with anybody. But they weren't necessarily people who were, close or instrumental to their lives. And I've talked to some of y'all off camera, like, there were certain people who felt certain type of way because they weren't invited to the formal reception and was only invited to the open reception to to anybody, or even to like the bridal showers, because that at the the thick of it, that's kind of what you're doing. You're paying for people to come celebrate you and give you gifts and whatnot. And so it's just really expensive. And so now I'm really of the mindset of I just want my real day ones and a very small wedding. The ceremony, I definitely would still love the flowers and the outdoor ambiance. But I'm not pressed to like get a whole bunch of decorations for a 30-minute ceremony. at one point in time, I wanted a party, like not like a dinner or like a reception, but like a party where all my aunts, uncles, grandparents, whomever, the older folks, that wasn't going to be there. I'm still working on that one because I don't think my mother would approve. That's low key, as quiet as it kept. Weddings are also like your mom's thing as well. I'm sure, Kellie, your mom's had some input in what she would hope you would choose or whatever. But I will just say, because I don't want to just ramble, now in my bigger age, I definitely want a smaller ceremony, very intimate, close family and friends, not necessarily at a church. Now, if I'm just, depending on, who I marry and how they feel, we might can consider it if they feel strongly about getting married in a church. But that's not something that I don't think ever wanted to do, and I never felt any type of way about it. Like, I didn't feel like I was being wrong or out of order if I didn't get married at the church. And one reason I say that is, while churches have existed, for a long time, I don't know if churches existed the way they exist now, where there's a church on like every block, every corner. But people have been getting married since the beginning of time. And there were not physical church buildings, but I highly doubt God did not view that as, a covenant between him and the people who are getting married. So I don't necessarily feel like the church you have to get married at a church for it to be recognized by God. But if you choose to have it at a church, go for it. You know what I'm saying? My sister had hers at a church. So I'm not, and my cousin had hers at a church. So I'm not knocking having it at a church. I just personally didn't envision having it at a church.
So I guess I'm in the middle of Janessa and Rhesa. Rhesa's married, so we'll let her go last. He has a real story. Mine is still make believe. So
it's real, Kellie. It's real.
Nah, but I am a very traditional bride. So I did not, when I started this thing, I realized like I didn't have the Pinterest boards of what my wedding was going to look like. I didn't have a vision. I didn't have like, my wedding planner was asking all these questions, and I'm like, I don't know. People still ask questions like, what are your colors and what are your themes? I'm like, I don't know. We'll get there at some point. But I was very much that same little girl, Janessa, who saw whatever I saw on TV and used to walk around in my mom's veil and imitate weddings and all of that. But then, like I said, as I started this process, I realized like I didn't really have the vision. I didn't have the Pinterest board. I didn't have the, anything. And I would say I did not have to get married at a church. I am getting married at church, but I did not have to. And I'm trying to, as you were talking and as we talked through this, I'm trying to remember why I decided to have it at the church. And I am a very, and maybe because I am a very sentimental person, and I think it just means something to have it at the church that my father or my uncle pastors, whichever one I decide to do it at. But to me, it was more important that my father and my uncle marry me versus where we were. And to be honest, and Daddy, I love you dearly, I did a walkthrough of my dad's church the other day, and it really doesn't give me the grandness that I want. Like you said, that long aisle that you thought that you were going to walk down, like they have built like thing in the middle and some and I'm like, where am I supposed to walk and go? So I'm like, it really doesn't even give me like the vision that I want. But I think that I decided to because I think it meant something to my family, to to do it there. I didn't necessarily have to, but I didn't mind either. Like I said, I like the sentimental portions. My daddy preaches here. I get married here, you know, or my uncle again. She was trying to figure out if I'm going to Gwinnett or the Cab. I don't know yet. We decided to have the open ceremony, and so I guess it depends on the RSVPs. So if the RSVPs exceed Gwinnett's capacity, then we'll have to move it to the Cab. But so I didn't have to, because I really don't, and it's really more about logistics than anything else. Because in weddings, it really works one or two ways. So you have your ceremony and your reception all in one place, and they have to flip the room. So you have the ceremony, and then everybody goes outside for the cocktail hour for an hour while they flip the room reception, or you have it at one location, typically your church, and then people have to drive to your reception, and then you start the cocktail hour and all of that. I get cocktail hours, and I think with proper entertainment, and food and beverage, they're not so bad. But it was really just logistics that was a big part of where I was going to have my wedding, even though I really didn't like the drive. And most people are going to have to drive about 25, 30 minutes at this point if I go with the venue that I have right now. But when you get there, what was important to me was the experience after you did this 30-minute drive. What was the experience when you got there? And I think that was what was important to me. If I was going to have it at the church and people were going to have to drive, then it was like, okay, well, let me not make it some boring. We sit around. It's not enough seats. You're trying to figure out. I'm tired. I didn't talk to everybody that I've known or I thought I knew for the last 5-10 minutes. And then I got another 45 minutes to kind of just sit here and do nothing. Like those parts of weddings, I'm like, I'm just not the biggest fan of. Like it works for the first 15-20 minutes. And then I'm like, I'm standing in the middle of a hallway. I don't want to look like a lush getting 3, 4, 5, 6 drinks. I'm hungry, but I don't want to. It's just the little appetizers coming, So trying to figure all of that out, but then also realizing that like that's just a part of weddings, unfortunately. And so it kind of is what it is. But again, trying to build an experience in for my guests where it doesn't seem so bad. But when I was initially looking, so my dream was always to have it at Chateau Elan. I went to Chateau Elan as a young girl. My mom took me. We had a girls' trip. They had this grand staircase, and I was like, "Oh, I'm getting right here."
What is Chateau Elan? Just like a venue?
It's a winery out in Brazelton, Georgia. And so maybe about an hour and a half outside of Atlanta. And they have, like I said, beautiful wineries, a hotel as well. And they have like this grand staircase, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting married here. And then I was like, well, I don't want people to make like I said, it's a lot. It's so much that goes into like planning a wedding, little things. That I just, like I said, I felt like it was important to my parents. I felt like
getting married at the church.
Getting married at the church, yep. I felt like it may or may not have been important to me, but I felt like my wedding planner said, hey, I sensed when I met you or our first conversation that you needed to get married at the church. My future husband said, hey, when I said, hey, we can just have the ceremony and the reception somewhere else, he goes, no, I want you to get married at the church, because I feel like that's what you want. And so that is what I'm doing. And I'm excited about it. I think one of the exciting things being a preacher's kid, because we will have an open ceremony, is that all of Berean are able to come and celebrate with me. I think that is an exciting part in this space that I grew up. But recognizing is more than just a building, because my mom keeps saying like Gwinnett is your church, and I'm like, actually the Cab is. Like Gwinnett is where Daddy has pastored for the last however many years, but by the time he got to Gwinnett, I was an adult. Like I was in college, I think, when he moved to Gwinnett, late in college when he moved to Gwinnett. And so I was like, I was an adult, so I didn't grow up here. The Cab is where I grew up. Like the Cab is home. And so, but again, I said, so I don't have to, so I don't knock the people who do. Like I said, again, I definitely understand the preference of having it all in one place. I understand is before we used to talk, having just the two of y'all and the person who marry you. Because baby, when I tell you it is expensive, it is expensive. And like you said, Janessa, at this point in life, like I said, when you're young, you dream of like this huge wedding. But at this point in life, it's like, who do I love enough to spend $250? Like, if you do the per person cost, for like your entire wedding, it's like, who do I love enough to spend $300-$400 per person to come and celebrate with me? And it's probably on the low end, to be honest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you put in venue, when you put in everything that you do for a wedding, that's really, like you said, for guests to celebrate you, that per person cost is ridiculous. And it's just like, yo, fortunately, I have some people that I absolutely love and absolutely I want them to share in this moment with me and share in this moment with us. But when you start getting to 500 people, baby, I don't like you for $500 enough to provide you some entertainment, a DJ, a band, unlimited drinks for 3-4 hours. Like, baby, I don't. And you'll realize that when you send out that invitation. Not even send an invitation. When you post that you're getting married, everybody and their mama expects to get, I can't wait to go to your wedding. What's that? Y'all seen that little girl who do all that laughing? One of them little memes, like, nah, it don't work like that. So I don't even know. I think I understand church bells and courthouse bells. Everything. I get it. And I think it's a time of life. I think it's finance. I think there's a lot that goes into it. I am grateful for that good Berean check because it's helping me with this wedding. Because if it was me, we'll be in my dad's office with my parents and his. It will be the end of it. And I'm going to send y'all some beautiful pictures.
Gotcha.
I get it all. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt, but we have a few church announcements. First, thank you all for listening, and make sure that you find us on YouTube at The Worst Ones Podcast. You can also find us wherever you find your podcast, Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts. You can find us there at The Worst Ones Podcast. And when you get there, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, and you share. Thank you. Now back to the show.
So clearly I'm part of the courthouse spells. but we'll come back to the bells in a few years. So realistically, even before I even, met my husband now and got married, I did want to get married privately, like at the courthouse, just me and him, and then like later have a wedding. So like later would have been like, within the next month or so. In this case, it'll be in a few years just because I was pregnant when we got married. So I want to pop out these kids first because, we had the age. I don't have, 36. I'm trying to get a couple more out before 40 or be 40, be the last one. So, to try to plan a wedding in between and all that, we ain't got time to like snap back, pop the baby out, snap back, get the, have the wedding, it's too much. So we just do it all after all the, kids are here and then do it like a 5, some type of like a vow renewal type thing. Mm-hmm. So that's more what we'll do. And even in that case, there won't be any church bells. I'm loving this whole, What you say?
No, it just was echoing.
Oh, okay. I'm loving this whole destination wedding situation where people are, traveling. I think it, one, you cut the fat. But then 2, it gives people a vacation. Like I'm going to one of my best friend's weddings in February, and it's in Mexico. And like we're just making like a whole thing of it, like our anniversary and everything falls on it. So we were like extending the trip and things like that. So I think those work out perfectly, and this work out perfectly for them because then you only get like a solid 75 to 100 that really who's coming and whatnot, and everybody has a good time. And then you don't monopolize the whole time. It's like they only have things like on that Friday and then the actual day. Other than that, it's just like do what you want to do. We'll be here. We don't want to, hate is a strong word. I strongly dislike when people, have you come, especially out of town somewhere where people haven't been, and then they want to monopolize, the entire like, oh, you're here for the whole week. Let me show you. I mean, you can give people options, but like, you know, if people want to go off and do something, like let them go off and do something. That's why me and Kellie, side note, always travel well together because we'll have plans. You know, me and her could do a lot of things together. But if it's like, oh, you want to do the crab legs and you want to do the mini golf, okay, go ahead. I'll meet you at 8. You know, it's never an issue of, you know, whatever. Like these are just the top things we're trying to do, and then anything in between there, like have a good life. Don't care. And a lot of times people aren't that flexible. I guess Rudy has gone to change out that logo. I just looked up. Rudy was black. Rudy was
he gone.
So those are my thoughts. So, but going back to me, so when we, the reason why we got married at the Courthouse one, because I wanted it. And actually, my husband didn't. He wanted, you know, to kind of wait and have everybody go there. I was like, well, I always wanted to do it before, and then we kind of, you know, circle back. And I also wanted to do it on our anniversary, so that was a big deal. So that's also why we did it back in February as well.
So you said your husband wanted what now?
He wanted. He wants. He's the bride. He wants the pomps and circumstances. He wants. Dang, I lost Janessa.
Right.
I just did. Kellie, are you about to leave?
Right.
No, I'll be here. I can hear you.
Courthouse spells. They got everybody going black.
Right. Freaking Hogwarts out here. So no, he wants all the bells and whistles. So when it is time, I'm probably going to be your fiance and he will be you. He wants, you know, the whole what y'all call it? What call it? Kit and caboodle? Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm. Kit and caboodle.
He wants all of it, and I'm more just like, you know, whatever. So when it is time, I'll probably be the person like, let me know. I'll pick what to wear and I'll show up type thing. But as far as
let me tell you something, that don't really work with me. Unless Kevin, like it sounds good. Just show up and tell me what to wear, because Valentine as well wants the I tried to offer him a let's just do family, you know, 15 people family, and he was like, no, I want friends and all of that there. But then when I'm asking him to do little things along the way, it ain't really happening. So please know that when you get to 5 years or whatever, 3 years, and y'all do your vow renewal and y'all do this big wedding, you planning it. And Kevin gonna show up.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm saying he'll probably be more involved, is what I'm saying. He'll be
more excited.
I'm more like, I'll pick what I wear and show up. He can't pick what I wear. I'm gonna select that. But
you're gonna be picking a whole more than that. Trust me.
Oh, I'm sure. Because it sounds good, but he not.
It sounds good, but he not. He excited about it, but he want to sit back and see the end and have fun at the wedding. But all the stuff in between.
Exactly. Well, we went through a baby shower too, so we know how that went. So, and that was another thing. I was having, you know, baby showers were happening or being planned at the same time, so it was just a lot. And to be honest, Kellie had to convince me for those, because I wasn't gonna have them. So, yeah, I think as I've gotten older, I just been a part of a few weddings, but a couple weddings where, you know, it was a lot going on. I've just, you know, gone to the other end, and I don't really want to be bothered. Like you said, like it does cost a lot, which is like fine, but then it's like, it's not fine because you see all the drama behind it. Somebody mad, like you said about Jessica, somebody mad they didn't get invited to this. And then even I've seen bridesmaids not really be happy for the bride, and people get into fights. And, you know, it's just like all this so I can get married. Right. No, thank you. I'd rather I do something else, y'all do something else. At this point, post it on Instagram, let you know it's real. We move on. So I definitely, like I said, when it's my time, it'll definitely be something more, you know, me, I'm private. So, you know, it'll be who, you know, you need to know, but then also, probably a destination.
I had a question for you, Rhesa. I know Kellie, you kind of already said, and I guess you did too, but how big of when you say I want to have my big wedding, how big are you talking? And how many brides?
Sorry, babe, I didn't mean to wake you up. Sorry.
And Kellie, you too, if you know.
The original wedding was just him and I at the courthouse and our lovely officiant. So it was just two of us. So big, I mean, I probably around Kellie, you know, I probably would invite 100, you know, maybe. But then at that point, like, it depends because if you go destination, people want to bring their families. So then that makes it. But it'll still be no kids allowed. But I would provide childcare because kids can't, not even my own kids. So if my own kids, I don't care who you are, your kids can't come either. We want to be able to drink and be loose and not be worried about, Kellie child over there crying in the corner. Now I can't, say the words I want to say because, the kids are sitting here. I want to play, explicit music and have a good time.
Okay.
Welcome back, Rudy. We missed you.
Right.
Yeah.
You left.
I heard everybody disappeared on the courthouse spells.
Right.
You do not want to hear that blasphemy.
You got to get mad in the church. How dare you? How dare you?
So yes.
But no, same with no kids. My two nephews are not kids. They're teenagers. Well, he's 10 and 15. They don't count. My fiance was in complete agreement with that. His sister has like a 1-year-old, and I was like, because she's your sister, I don't mind if, and he was kind of like, I've seen where babies, crying in the middle of the ceremony or like running around and breaking stuff and, and tearing up stuff and all, and so, and as Rhesa said, wanting to, give parents a chance to kind of get loose and have a good time, and they got a babysitter at home. And so those things are important too. So, my cap right now was 125. It is tough. So like I said, I have a tier 1 group that are the definite invitees. I have a tier 2 group that wants the RSVPs come. See, and here's the thing too. So these 125, so we got 60 and 60 and then a 5 buffer, are people that I talk to regularly. And so I know a lot of people, they're waiting on these RSVPs like, oh, is this person going to come? Is this person going to come? Rudy, you coming or not? I understand if you can't make it, if you can't swing it, no harm, no foul. But usually like RSVPs are due like 3 weeks before the wedding, 4 weeks. I ain't got time to wait for December. Baby, if you know in August that you're not going to make it, go ahead and tell me now, because I got a tier 2 person I can put in your spot. Yeah, people waiting for your spot. Like
promotions out here.
Listen, and they don't know they tier 2. And they won't know they tier 2. They don't think they on a tier 1 list. And the earlier I can move them to the tier 1 list, the less crazy it seems. Like, dang, I start telling them in December, oh, my wedding 2 weeks, you done moved from the open ceremony to the private reception. Then they gonna know I was on the tier 2, tier 3 list.
Right.
So if I can get them now.
Right.
Let me go ahead and tell them. So 125. I don't even know how I came up with that random number, to be honest with you. I really just said, somebody asked when you start interviewing wedding planners and asking about venues, they asked for a number and I said 125. I have no idea where that number came from. Just sounded like a good number. And that's where we are. You get into this thing and you have no idea, like, I've never planned a wedding before. I've never planned an event like this before. And so you just start like, I need help, and people start asking you all these questions, and I never want to feel like I don't know. And so you just start saying stuff, and hopefully it lands well. I got a good wedding planner that's able to fill me out and be like, well, no, that's not really what you meant. I'm like, okay. So yes, in terms of bridesmaids, to your question, I really could have done 2, to be honest with you. If it was up to me, it would have been Rhesa and my other best friend Adrian, and we could have been done. My fiance we settled on 6. He was like, I was at 4, and so then he wanted 6. And so then he was like, oh, if you get 6, you could do 7, 8. You're doing too much, baby. Move back. So right now he has 6 groomsmen. I have 5 bridesmaids. And I think I'm probably going to keep it uneven. I have a couple of other people. But again, you get too many people and then you got too many attitudes, too much drama.
Especially girls.
Yeah, especially with girls. 4 out of the 5 of my bridesmaids have all kind of hung out, know each other well. So I really only have like one person that hasn't really been in the fold like the rest of them. And that's the only person that lives here. Actually, the rest of my bridesmaids don't live here. And so, yeah, so I'm kind of good at that. Like I said, could I have done 12, 15? Absolutely. But did I want them to really stand here on my wedding? No. Do I think it's important for them to come and celebrate? Absolutely. Was it necessary for them to, like I said, stand with me and be a part of the day? Rhesa sent me a video. First of all, I love all of you all who send me all of these wedding videos, Janessa, you included. But Rhesa sent me a video the other day of like the bride that the bridesmaids see, and then like the bride that everyone else sees, you know. And so the bride that your bridesmaids see, you know, is the real you, you know. Like,
was that the one where she was turned up?
Yes, and she was like, I need some more tequila, and they got the and the champagne, you know, and all of that. And so, like, in that space of vulnerability, of excitement, of nervousness, of all of that I'm going to experience that weekend from now until then, it is just a select few of women that I want in that space. And so at 36 years old, there was no need for me to have 12. No need for me to have 10. Again, I could have done it with 2. Because those are 2 that I even really talk to, and here go an update, let me tell you this, and you know, or whatever. And I could have been, and those are the 2 that I talk to regularly in life. Now the other 3 I'm close with friends or whatever, but you know, of course, you got your closest friends. I could have done 2 and been okay. He wanted 6. And so I wanted him to have what he wanted. It's very much his wedding as much as mine. But we weren't going past 6. Because he tried. Well, I got another friend that I used. He gonna have to sit with everybody else. So, but yeah, but no, I didn't want.
I go back and forth because the close, like when I think about kind of like you were saying, my close people, it's like a solid 7. But I feel like 7 is a lot. And so I go back and forth, and I thought I even was like, well, maybe I'll do something out the box where I'll have my official bridesmaid, and then I have my unofficial junior bridesmaids, and I just have them sit on the first row in the same color. But that was doing a lot. It's doing a lot. But if I kind of feel like I'm leaning more this way. As the world gets more expensive, I would be good with just 1, and that bridesmaid would be my sister. And I, you know, I have several of best friends, but I know that might be an issue about who's the bestest of the best. So it would probably just be me and Jessica. And
let me tell you something. Your bridesmaids will probably understand, and secretly they may thank you.
Yeah.
Still let them be, you know, a part of, you know, the planning process for your showers, for your bachelorette party. You know, they may be like, I had a girlfriend that got married in last December, and she had another one of our friends that she was close with but wasn't a bridesmaid be a part of like their first look, and you know, all of that. And so, you know, you can still have them. But to be honest, like to be a bridesmaid and be in someone's wedding, like it's a lot. It's a lot of time and energy. Like Rhesa said, like for my wedding, I'm talking about possibly 2 ceremonies. And so people know that when you're in the wedding, you don't really have time. Like her husband, you know, Kevin will be here, you know. Now, how much time she's going to be able to spend with Kevin and Crimson that weekend? Probably not. She's gonna be working all weekend. She got stuff to do, you know.
Hang with Rudy. He gonna hang with Rudy.
Right, he gonna hang with Uncle Rudy.
Brother-in-law.
Our brother-in-law and Uncle Rudy, you know. And the thing is, you're willing to make that sacrifice for your closest friends. And the 5 girls that are my bridesmaids will go to the moon and back for me, and I would do the same. And so you're willing to do that, but it also takes a lot. You know, I'm asking them for 2 dresses. I'm asking them for an entire weekend. I'm asking, you know, and everything in between in 5 months, you know. So I'm asking for a lot, and I know that. So yeah, so I think that they will be okay, and I think you got to do like I said, I went to a wedding recently and she had like 16 bridesmaids, and I was like, and you got to think of logistics, right? And so and that's a big thing with wedding that people don't think about too. Like you see the pretty picture at the end, but logistically and cost wise, for that bride who had 16 bridesmaids, the girls were up at 4 getting hair and makeup done. I'm not doing that. They were up at 4. And you hate always, and you hope you're on the schedule at the 7, 8 o'clock time, and they don't put you at the 4 o'clock time. I know Rhesa was talking about she always first because she got a lot of hair. So she always first because she gonna take so long, but nobody wants to do that.
They don't know how to do hair, but yes.
Right. And then you gotta pay 3-4 people to come and do hair and makeup. That's another expense on your bridesmaids that I would love to take that away. I'm trying to figure out how I take that away from them. But the more you have, I can't spend, $75 per face, for 16 girls. Now I may be able to do that for 5, but for 16, definitely not. Y'all on y'all own. So I think there's a lot of I'm learning that there are a lot of details and outside factors that people just don't know going into it. And I was telling my fiance, baby, men don't do nothing but drink all morning before the wedding. Okay. Y'all ain't got nothing to do but drink all morning and play video games. That's what you play video games. Don't you dare show up to my wedding drunk. Don't you dare have any of your groomsmen show up to the wedding drunk, because I had a friend wedding where the groomsmen fell out in the middle of the wedding, and he was my partner, and I had to walk back.
He was your partner. I forgot. He was your partner.
He was your partner.
Kellie got PTSD.
The guys were wasted. Their eyes were red. They were drunk.
They don't have anything to do all morning. Your hair is already done before you get there. You don't need no makeup. You don't have anything to do. Where the girls are up for 6, 7 a.m. getting ready and doing all this stuff. Men, if you don't, I'm gonna make sure my man and his friends eat. But if you don't, men not gonna eat. And they're gonna drink and they're gonna play college football at this point, and they're gonna be drunk at 3:30 when my wedding starts. And I'm gonna be
mad. I was gonna say, so your wedding, you wanted like an afternoon wedding.
It'll be a 3-4. So my American wedding is also on a Sunday. Well, possibly right now it's on a Sunday. And so they got to get my daddy out and flip the church. So it'll be a 3:30, 4 o'clock wedding.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Yep. I don't know. I keep going back and forth, but I like the night wedding.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I say I go back and forth because when I was at this Missy concert at 10 o'clock, I don't know if my husband would appreciate that.
Indeed. Yeah, mine is probably from about 4 to 10. Mm-hmm.
So I got a question for you, Kellie, and it's mainly because of really all of y'all can answer, but Kellie, you can answer this first since your wedding is approaching. Rhesa's already happened, and Janessa is still
coming in 2025.
Yes, it's still pending.
Claim it. Let me say this real quick. Hold on, before you say that, talking about claim it. When I went to work Monday and I talked to one of the girls, she's young, 24, 25, and she saw my ring and she's like, "Oh my God, you're getting engaged." She said, "You said this last year."
You did.
And she said, "You said this last year." I said, "Baby, I prayed for this." She was, because now the young folks want to use, "You manifested this." No, baby, I prayed for this. The Lord didn't manifest this. I ain't manifested a thing. So pray for it. Call it out. Say what you want. Okay, I'm sorry, Rudy.
No, I was gonna ask Rudy, because I feel like you said it on this podcast, that you were like, and prayerfully by the end of the year, I'm gonna be married, so I can have my kids by next. You were saying like you wanted to be pregnant, I think by next December.
I'm talking about Rudy. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you said it on the podcast. And so when you're saying that, it's like, yeah. So go ahead, name it, and then I'm gonna just claim it. And Rhesa, you name it too, so I can get a double.
Oh yeah, I knew it. I told Kellie she had to take us out. I was bringing us in because I was pregnant and engaged and stuff, and I told her, you at the second half of the year
at the end of 2024, right?
I said you gotta take us out.
She said, right, you bring us in, you're gonna take us out.
And that's what she's doing.
Hey!
Oh God. Y'all.
I I didn't name or claim staying at the church, but I'm there. Amen.
And Rudy, and I know you have to ask me a question, but I do want to hear: do you have to get married at the church?
Rudy at the church.
You gotta
because you gotta marry me at the church.
You gotta marry me at the church and live there.
Right. I feel like the Lord then called you to live at the church. You absolutely got to get married at the church. Like where else do you get married? Because the Lord then called you to live there, and that's so abnormal. That's just so atypical that I don't understand where you get married any place else.
You just called Rudy to live there because Rudy ain't doing his work. You know what? You come over here. Right. I'm gonna watch it.
Right.
I gotta watch it.
You come sit next to me.
Exactly. You're right.
Rudy. You can't behave in the back of the class. You come sit up.
Exactly.
I hope y'all don't live in the church because my God, God's gonna be watching all the time. Y'all can't be doing nothing freaky.
I don't have anybody potentially in that spot anyway, so I will be okay for now. I cross that bridge.
Married in the church? What are your thoughts?
So I will answer after you, but I want to ask this question just because I'm curious, and it's kind of, once again, because yours is approaching. So when it comes down to I got the answer in reference to the church versus a courthouse or just outside the church in general. But let's say, like, even if it's outside of a church, is it necessary or even mandatory that a pastor has to officiate your wedding? Versus, because like with Rhesa, I don't know, was that lady technically like an ordained minister, or was she just the lady at the courthouse?
But they had some good stuff. California has some good, I guess, vows or whatnot.
Right. So, but I'm saying, so like, but does it have to be like a pastor or a preacher, Kelly, to officiate, even if it was outside of the church?
You know, it would have to be probably, but it would have to be someone that I knew. So it couldn't be just any pastor.
Brian Houston.
No. I answer
Carl, no. Frank, no.
At least Pastor Carl alone, he was all right.
Pastor Carl needed to hear his own thing before he go and marry me.
No,
he go pray them spirits of unhealing on me.
Kelly want Michael Todd, Pastor Mike Todd to.
Okay, she do, low key.
No, I want Pastor Kevin Lee to marry me, honey.
Or better yet, Pastor, what's the Pastor Terry don't like? Him.
Joel Osteen.
Mm-hmm.
He'd probably be so nice with it.
He probably would. Rhesa want TD Jakes, Pastor Bishop.
Hey.
Do my wedding?
And Bishop Jakes do your wedding.
No.
Women, thou art loose now. But you know what? That's all I know, to be honest with you. I remember at one point my dad saying that my Uncle Kerwin may be out of town. And I wanted my Uncle KK to stand in, you know. And KK. So it really had to be someone that meant something to me. Mm-hmm. More so than a pastor. Someone who's meant something to me, I think that's the biggest thing. But because I'm a preacher's kid, they're just ministers and pastors, so I don't really know anything else. But could I imagine going to the courthouse and there was an officiant that I didn't know doing my wedding? I can't imagine that. Even if I did something with just me and him, it still would have been my father or my uncle to do it. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, and that's the thing. My whole wedding, a lot of it, even the venue that I'm looking at, or why I decided to get married in Snellville or Stone Mountain, is because that's where we both grew up in Stone Mountain. We didn't know each other at the time, but we grew up in Stone Mountain. So I'm really in the sentimental, like, how does this go into who I am, who we are, who you are, the place that I'm looking at. Did I tell you the place I'm looking at? When I tell you it resonates with every Metro Atlanta student in the world. So I'm looking at Fernbank Museum.
I was at Fernbank this year. I love Fernbank.
So you know, and so when I went to go visit, it was such nostalgia. Like, oh my God, let me go in there so I can see where we were all sitting and the guy, and I was so appalled back in middle school because the guys was feeling on the girls and I ain't know nothing about that back then. And that's what I remember from Fur Bay. The lights went out and the guys was feeling on the girls and I was so uncomfortable because I was such a baby. Like, oh my God, this is too much. It's but yes, you know, so I love I'm sorry, yeah. I love those moments that mean something.
Right.
And so yes, so it would have had to been someone that I've known, and I know mostly pastors.
Gotcha. Rhesa, what about for like your next, whenever you do it down the line, like does it have to be like a
/ wedding?
Yeah. Does it have to be like somebody, a clergyman?
It doesn't have to be. It needs to be somebody, like you said, either somebody really good. Like I said, the officiant at the courthouse was really good. Like you would have thought, I don't know, well, they had their script ready. Like it was perfect. Like nicer than some weddings I've been to where, you know, they paid somebody, you know, or whoever their pastor was or whatever to do it. So either somebody like that who's coming with the lyrics, or somebody I know, but it doesn't have to be a pastor. Because I've been to quite a bit of weddings lately where people have let their friends do it, and those have been fun because they make it more like intimate and have like a lot of like inside jokes and kind of like loosen it up, make it a little casual and less like formal and kind of stuffy sometimes. That I've been to one where they did have a pastor, but I don't think the pastor like knew them very well, and those just kind of get very like, you know, to have it the whole like we got it, we know, give us something else, you know.
Agreed.
You know, so
agreed.
Yeah,
I don't like those boring, like you don't really know them. They mispronouncing your name.
Exactly. They didn't come to rehearsal, so they don't know what's coming next. It's like, what's going on?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I would agree with Kellie. It would definitely have to be someone I know. I think I definitely probably would have a pastor or preacher, minister. I'm a little devastated, but I'll get it together. Of course, I always wanted Bishop Morton to marry me. He married my sister.
Yeah.
And so that just kind of, you know, I didn't have anybody else really in mind at that time. But when I, you know, now that this is the reality, I've thought about it, and I would want somebody who has known me, who's been a part of my life. I know with my sister, it was she had Bishop Morton do it, and then Lionel had his pastor, Pastor Darius Daniels. They did it together. So depending on if my husband is, you know, strongly opinionated on who the minister will be, whether his minister and mine or whatever. But I will say that the two people I have in mind right now, if I was to get married, when I get married, if I get married in 2025,
when you get married,
would be actually Kellie's uncle, Kellie's daddy, or Pastor McCoy. Those are the three people who I would want to marry me. I don't want my dad to marry me. I want him to be fully in dad role. And he did that for my sister as well. He walked her down the aisle, and then he went and sat with my mother. And, you know, I just wanted them to kind of have that moment. I think my dad probably wouldn't care so much, especially because he got to do it with Jessica. Maybe he will. You know, I'm the baby girl, but he did get that moment, you know, in life. And I really hope that my dad is around when I do get married. And I've even thought about that. Who else I would want me to walk down the aisle, or, you know, if the three people I named were not available, like who would I do? But that's because I'm an overthinker. But my mom's brother is very, very close to me. So I wouldn't mind him walking me down the aisle or him marrying me. And he's super active in the church. I call him the assistant pastor because he's the one who's like my dad's hype man. He's always preacher, show you right, you know. So he's close enough to a pastor to me. But yeah, it would definitely have to be a pastor and somebody who I know. And then maybe just because I've seen it, I've never seen two ministers do a wedding. I saw that for the first time with my sister. Like I said, if my husband wants his pastor involved, we can figure it out. But it can't be a pastor and his friend. That's not gonna work.
Gotcha. So for me, and I say my little piece, now we can go ahead and close it out. In reference to it having to be at a church, I don't know if I really thought about it. In reference to like a must-have, like, because I'm kind of like Kevin, and to a certain degree, like I ain't gonna say I've like practiced my wedding or put on like a little practice tux or whatever the case may be, but I have like thought about like what that day looks like, and I probably think about the reception more than I think about the ceremony. I be thinking about like, you know, who's gonna be the DJ?
The DJ.
I need 90s R&B.
Right.
You know,
That's
early
all me.
2000s. You know what I'm saying?
Musical selection.
You know, open bar. You know what I'm saying? Like I probably, and especially because I was in a wedding earlier this year, one of my line brothers' wedding, and the wedding was beautiful, but the reception was lit. You know what I'm saying? Like reception was.
That's why I said I wanted a party.
Yeah, reception was a great time. Food was phenomenal. I mean, they had oxtail, they had all types of. They obviously saved up. They spent a good little bit on their wedding. Big bridal party, all of that. But I'd like to say I don't know if I really thought about it in reference to it having to be at a church or not. But I definitely, I think just subconsciously have always kind of assumed that the person officiating it would be like a pastor or something like that. And mainly because I always would think about, the ones that I know. Like, so whether it was a Bishop Morton, if he would still been alive, or even for me, either your Uncle Kellie, you know, Big Kerwin, because, you know, he's not only somebody who's known me my whole life, known my parents my whole life, but I mean, he's hilarious. You know what I'm saying? Like he definitely can keep it loose. You know what I'm saying? Like he definitely can crack a joke or whatever the case may be. Or even your father, Janessa, because I mean, he baptized me. You know what I'm saying? So even me just thinking, absolutely. Yeah. So me even just thinking about, like Kellie was talking about, those sentimental moments, like the making that, you know, that whole connection. I've always thought about that. But then also considering I would be the groom in this situation, and you know, the wife might have her own little pastor situation who she probably want to go with somebody else or whatever the case may be. So I guess that'll be a conversation to be had. But like I said, I think for me, I don't think it has to be in a church. I don't think if it's in a courthouse or even somewhere outside of a church, I don't think it's necessarily, you know, the wedding or the marriage would be cursed. Because there's plenty of weddings that happen, you know, in churches that led to divorce, including my parents. So,
not fired. They just got a straight. Got a straight for no reason.
Right. I'm like,
and both of their second marriages was both of their second marriages was outside of a church, and they both still married to them people. So
talk about it.
Oh my God.
So, I mean,
Miss Larnell, when you listen to this, get your stuff.
So, you know.
It's your children. It's them.
Hey, it seems like the courthouse spells are working.
Right.
It'll be your own kids.
And they just cackling.
Right.
When I do the math, looking like them church bells stop ringing after a while. All right. I think ultimately it can work either way. You know, and I think, especially if you're talking about, just say, somebody who is aspiring to have, just say, like a God-led marriage. I definitely think maybe like the premarital counseling, all that type of stuff. Like, even if you had like an outside therapist, I think even just getting some type of covering and wisdom from, just say, a spiritual guide probably would be healthy. But in reference to like the actual ceremony, I mean, that's like saying you have church in a traditional church versus the venue that smell like beer from the night before, or you know, or a tent outside, or you know, whatever. Like, I think you can create an atmosphere where, just say, God is there regardless of where you're at. So I don't think it necessarily matters, but I I don't really know when my whole marriage thing is going to happen. So I don't. It's not something I really think about at the moment. But when it happens, I guess I'll cross that bridge then. So, but yeah, all right. So Janessa, you got Jules.
It's a really short one this week.
All right, let's do it.
So, per norm, I was scrolling on Instagram and I came across the post. And the last sentence of this post is really what stuck out to me that I want to share with you guys. And it says, trust the divine plan. Don't force yourself to fit in where you don't belong. And it just kind of hit me because there are certain situations and things that when I'm really being honest with myself and thinking about it, I don't belong, but I am trying so hard to make it happen. And I am stressed out and I'm frustrated. And it was just like a reassuring confirmation that it really doesn't take all of that. So I'm trying now, and I'm trying to encourage you guys, our 50,230,000 followers.
50 million. I like that.
I can't remember the number. This week, just try not to force yourself to fit in where you don't belong. It'll naturally happen, and you know, go with it. Go where you belong. Go with your people. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Amen.
All right. Get in where you fit in.
Yes.
All right. Kellie
Lee. Still private at Princess Kellie. Still.
What about when you post the wedding photos? You gotta already be in the loop to see them. Can't nobody.
Yep, you already got to be in the loop to see them.
All right.
Yep. Yep, that's about it. So,
maybe she'll share a few on here. So if you listen to us or follow us on here.
So I never even posted the Instagram that I was getting married.
Okay.
I only posted on Facebook. I never posted it on Instagram. I did post on Facebook, but I never posted it on Instagram.
Gotcha.
So
all right. Everything it
didn't matter.
You can find me at jrihanna_. We have fun over there. I haven't posted any garden updates, but I'm gonna try to do that this week. So yeah.
Rhesa_G. We have fun over there as well. I'll post some of Kelly's stuff if she let me.
Look, we all gonna have NDAs,
right?
I love a good NDA now.
Well, this has been wonderful. Congratulations, Kellie Lee, once again.
Yes,
closing out the year strong. I'm putting in my RSVP. I will be there.
You even said, Rudy, if you're not gonna be there, go ahead, tell me.
She called you out.
I'm right. I'm staying in tier 1. Can't
right, I said because we can drop you down to the waiting list.
I'm not gonna let the rocks cry out in my place.
Because you live in the church, you may not be able to come.
That was your sister. That was
Rudy got kicked out.
That was your sister. I know you got roots, as my grandma said. I know you got roots here in Atlanta. Ain't no
right.
Ain't no time. You got some roots here.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there for sure.
I'm gonna be there.
I'm a possible.
Nope. Again, I'm gonna come pick you up from LA and bring you back.
Oh, we gotta go because he don't know how to.
Right. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe, and most of all, share. We are the worst ones, and we will see you all next week.
Top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world.